Hello everybody, and welcome again to another episode of By Release, just not Jimmy. Today I'm going to be trying to fit as many quests as I can, as much progress as I can into one video, so that the next video I release is going to be pretty much all live commentary, not pre-recorded. As of right now, all the videos that I'm making are pre-recorded from April onward, which is why my progress has slowed down to basically zero. But in this episode, we're going to be doing Scorpion Catcher, Family Crest, Tribal Totem, Fishing Contest, and Monk's Friend. In that time, we'll also get 21 Thieving, 40 Smithing, 40 Crafting, 59 Magic, and 31 Prayer, which are the requirements for this. So, there's 59 Magic. Let's go ahead and get started. It's official, everybody. Pink Hat season has begun. No, but seriously, today we get to start Alfred Grimhand's Bar Crawl, which is located in Barbarian Outpost. Which means I'm going to have to travel all the way down from Sears Village, up past the Fishing Guild, through Backstorian Falls, to Barbarian Outpost. Bit of a trek, if you ask me, but that's where we get to start the quest. Or this is where we get to start the mini quest. I tell you what, I cannot wait till I can start training agility so that my run will not deplete so fast and it'll restore faster. But unfortunately I cannot train that until we get to the Grand Tree, which is about 12 quests away. But anyway, back to the mini quest. We speak to this barbarian guard at the front of this gate for the agility arena, which is where the scorpion is hidden for the scorpion quest. The guard hands us a list of beverages that we need to consume all around RuneScape at the many different bars. We start at the Blurberry bar, where we drink a Fire Toad Blast, which honestly this whole time I thought that you had to drink a Blueberry Special, or Blurberry Special, but I guess not. While I was at the Grand Tree, I decided to trade in my pink hat for a icy blue hat. Thought it was a little bit more fitting. But essentially what we do after this is exactly what you just saw. We travel to a bunch of random bars all across RuneScape, but I guess they're not really that random. They're all of the main bars that we had back when this quest was released, which was March 22nd, 2002, by the way, if anyone's wondering. And we just go, drink whatever special drink that they have, get hurt, get drunk, and then move on to the next one. It's very much a crawl because I'm sure by this point I've gotten alcohol poisoning. Mixing this many different kinds of drinks has to destroy your stomach. I mean, you know what they say, like, don't mix beer and hard liquor. I'm sure it's a mess down there in my stomach. But after we prove to the illiterate barbarian guard that we drank everything that we were supposed to drink, he finally lets us in, which means now we can actually do the Scorpion Catcher quest. Ah, the Sorcerer's Tower. I spent many hours chopping magic trees in this little area way back in 2008 when I first started playing, which is of course why my first 99 was woodcutting back in the original RS2. I don't know why, I was just really obsessed with talking to people in this game and just chopping trees. But at the very top of the tower is good old Thormac, who is super sad about missing his scorpions, and we agree to go find the scorpions for him. So I head off to the bank and I grab my old dusty key and a strange fruit, just in case I need some run energy or a poison restore. And we head over to my favorite place to kill Chaos Druids in the Taverley Dungeon. I think everybody remembers where this little scorpion is. If you've played RuneScape and done anything in the Taverley Dungeon, you know exactly where this thing is. It's a lot harder to see in this game though, it blends in so well. But we got the first one, now on to the second one. which we actually talked to the seers over in Seers Village to find out where the scorpions are. And the next one happens to be in the monastery, which is why I need to get the 31 prayer so that I could actually join the Brotherhood and go upstairs, cop a free pair of monk robes, and then catch our second scorpion. Gotcha. And now we go and get our third scorpion. And on the last scorpion, we actually get to go full circle, and we wind up all the way back where we started in Barbarian Village. Well, no wait, Barbarian Outpost. And we'll catch that last scorpion, return this over to Thormac, and we'll be all done. Alright buddy, I got all your scorpions back. Where's my reward? Ah, 1 quest point. Thank you so much. But because my stats are low enough, I also ended up getting 45 strength. So that's a nice little bonus too. If I were just starting out playing RuneScape, I would want someone to do this exact same thing to me. Trade me a bunch of stuff that they don't need, but would be very impactful for me. When I first started playing this game, if anyone gave me any item at all, I was overjoyed. So sometimes you gotta spread the love a little bit. On April 9th, 2002, RuneScape released the Family Crest quest, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So we start out by talking to Daddy Deminthius, or however you say his name, and he's pretty sad because he doesn't have his family crest anymore because his sons are assholes. So we go and meet the first asshole and see why he's being the way that he is. And as it turns out, he's just kind of a failed cook, and he needs our help to help him with his cooking endeavors, I guess. So we go ahead and catch some fish, get ourselves some tuna and bass, got ourselves some shrimp and salmon, and we give it to him, and he gives us his portion of the family crest. But it's not the whole crest, because the other two brothers also have a split of the crest, and we have to go find them to get the other halves. We find this gem trader in the desert who basically says, yeah, I know about that brother, and he's an asshole because he's a gold perfectionist. This dude is literally trying to get pussy by giving her the most fabulous gold in the world, to which, I mean, yeah, granted that might work, but still, petty shit. So he pretty much tells us, you gotta find that gold, make a necklace, make a ring, and then I'll give you a piece, 1/3, I guess, of the family crest. So now we get to explore a part of RuneScape I have not got to see yet on 2004Scape, which is the dungeon over by Brimhaven, which is basically Ardoganer, Artie, and we have to go through kind of like a consolidated version of Ernest the Chicken's door pulling lever thing. And we have to mine some gold, which is surrounded by hellhounds, one of which almost killed me because I didn't prepare at all. No armor, no food, pretty much just a beer that I'd gotten from a random event. So I had to tally out and start all over again. But this time I'll be prepared. I've got armor, I've got my pickaxe, I've got lobsters, and I got to tally out. So this time we go back with a vengeance, get our gold, and then we get the f*** out of there. Okay, so now we're going to turn our perfect gold ore into perfect gold bars, and then we're going to make 1 ruby necklace, not 5, and we're going to make 1 ruby ring, which hopefully should suffice for this gold-obsessed horn dog to get himself his girlfriend. We give this to him, and in exchange he gives us his portion of the family crest, and he even gives us a little information about the last brother, how to find him, and what we need to do to get the last piece of the family crest. So the last brother is located in that random bar that's next to the wilderness, just outside of Varrock, on the top floor. It's a little bit of a walk coming directly from Varrock, and of course, I forgot my anti-poison, so I had to tally back to Varrock, bring my anti-poison, then go to speak to him again. He basically tells us that he doesn't have the final crest piece, it's actually with the demon. He couldn't kill the demon, and he wants us to kill the demon, who is in the wilderness, by the way. I do not like that. I do not like being in the wilderness. because I am frail and bad at PKing. If a PKer were to approach me, I would probably lay down and die. But I was getting wrecked by him because I wasn't using the safe spot, because obviously I'm wearing mage armor, just getting absolutely blasted with 15s and 16s. So I finally realized that there is a safe spot. So first we need to do a wind blast, then a water blast, then an earth blast, and then finally I just finish him out with a bunch of fire blasts. But you have to do one of each type of spell in order to defeat this guy, which is why there's such a high magic requirement for quests this early on in the game for me. But there we go, he has been defeated, and he has our last crest piece. So at this point, when I tallied to Varrock, I could have just went straight to the dad and finished the quest, but I thought for some reason after I got the piece I had to go talk to that brother first, but I didn't. Total waste of time. But anyway, let's go find the dad, give him his little pieces back, and see what he gives us for a reward. He says he's got some magical gauntlets that he can give to us, and that the other brothers can change them to have special abilities. And I haven't really decided which gauntlets I want to get yet. That is still up for debate. But we got one quest point, and not much else besides the gloves, just that. So a few weeks later, on April 30th of 2002, they released the next quest we're going to do, which is Tribal Totem. And this quest actually unlocks a new skill that I'm allowed to train, which is Thieving. So this is the first time since Members release that I've actually done any thieving at all, pickpocketed anybody at all. And I'm just blowing through levels. There goes level 5. I pretty much just did men, and after doing men up to level 10, I actually switched over to do farmers, and I pretty much did farmers all the way up to 25 because I don't really want to do cake stalls. I mean, I probably will eventually. It's just kind of annoying because of the guards and the bakers always moving in your way. But somehow we did it. We ended up getting 25 thieving. So now we get to take a little trip to Karamja, or Karajama. I used to call it Karajama, and that's not how it's pronounced, but that's just how I said it when I was a kid because I was stupid. So we start the quest by talking to Kanjay Mao. He says he's lost his tribal totem, and we gotta go to Artie to go find it and bring it back to him. But wouldn't you know it, such a small world. On my way to Artie, I saw one of my friends out in the wild, Zensei, who has been so helpful to me in this game because just about all of the rune essence I've mined, the blue dragon hides I've collected, and the flax that I've turned into bowstrings, this guy has always been there to buy them from me because he's just always alkin. He's always making money, and he doesn't bat an eye at buying it off me, so I always give him a good price. Nicest guy. Just about every time I log on, he says hello. It is making friends like this that makes 2004Scape so much better than OSRS when it comes to making friends and having nice community conversations, which is why I am so sad that the community population has dropped so drastically since Members release, but I digress about that. Moving on to the quest, there's pretty much no way to get inside of the mansion in order to steal the tribal totem back, so we basically do a little bit of label switching with the packages for the delivery company, and we have the wizard dude over in Artie teleport us inside the mansion. It's a nice way to mix breaking and entering with magic, but we're doing it for a good cause, you know. We're stealing back ancient tribal totem memorabilia to their people. So basically, once you're inside the house, you need to break the code and open up the door. And quick tip, make sure you check the stairs before you climb up them, because if you don't, you end up in the Artie sewer. And then you have to climb back out, talk to the wizard again, put in the code again, and then go up the stairs again. But this time, don't forget to check the stairs. This quest took me a long time to do because I don't know if anyone else remembers this quest. I completely forgot about it. It's such a basic, old throwaway quest that I don't have much memory at all of doing it. I'm sure when I did it originally, I just looked at a guide and got it done in like 15 minutes because it's quick. It's simple, but if you don't know what you're supposed to do, it can take a long time to figure all this out. Like I had to cut a lot of footage for this in order to kind of condense it down to where it's digestible in a video, but there we go. We have the tribal totem now. We just have to head back to Karajama, speak to Kenjai, and complete the quest. And for some reason, he thinks a reasonable reward for breaking into someone's house and stealing his idol back is a bunch of fish. I don't know. Must be a cultural thing. But anyway, we are rewarded with 1 quest point. And we got ourselves 26 thieving. Alright, we got another one here. This time it's all about fishing. After skipping ahead about a month's worth of content, on the 28th of May in 2002, they released Fishing Contest, basically a way to give a dwarf a golden trophy so that we can go under White Wolf Mountain instead of having to get absolutely wrecked by wolves every time we want to go from Taverley to Catherby and back. So this will have a really nice reward. Being able to do that will save us a lot of time, a lot of walking, a lot of danger, and we end up getting some free fishing XP. So, win-win. And for some strange reason, I knew you needed garlic to get the vampire in this quest to not fish in the spot that you want him to fish in, or the spot that you want to fish in. And for some reason, I went ahead and picked like 18 fucking onions, thinking that the onions were garlic, because I'm an idiot. I grabbed a couple of these king worms as well, and I went ahead and tried to continue with this quest, but I knew what I had to do. I just didn't know exactly the order or how to do it. And because I didn't have the garlic, I mean, I could have saved myself so much time, but I just kept trying to put onions in there, and obviously that doesn't work. So I remembered that there's garlic in Draenor. I honestly thought Aggie the Witch had it, but it is actually upstairs in this cupboard. So I grabbed a couple of the garlics and went back to the fishing contest. And this time I successfully wrecked the spot for the vampire so that he couldn't fish there. And instead I could get the big fish. But basically I start the contest again, pay my dues, and this time around I actually did it correctly to where the vampire doesn't want to be in that spot. I get to take the spot with the big fish. And then I go over and fish myself a big carp, or maybe it's a giant carp, I can't remember. But this quest, it's really similar. My experience was really similar to how Tribal Totem went, where I knew basically what I was supposed to do from memory, but I wasn't sure the order or how to do it. Basically a lot of trial and error. But eventually I did get the trophy. I gave it to my dwarf friend, and boom, quest complete. Okay, time for the final quest of this episode. This is going to be Monk's Friend. Oddly enough, this one was also released on the 28th of May in 2002. Not sure why. But essentially, we talk to this monk. He's not able to sleep because his baby keeps crying. Gotta find the baby's blanket, return it to him, and then he'll finally get some rest. And just when you think that's the end of the quest, the real quest is actually talking to a different monk who's supposed to be bringing wine for a party for this crying baby's first birthday, but he basically says, yeah, he's somewhere drunk in the woods. You gotta find him in the woods, sober him up, and bring him over here. When Andrew Gower was making this quest, I have no idea where he got the idea for this. But anyway, we find brother Cedric. He's completely plastered and he needs some water, which when he says he needs a jug of water, he means a jug of water. And I had brought a bucket. I did not have a jug in my bank, so I actually found this random guy in Artie that was stealing from the cake stalls, and I pretty much begged him for a jug of anything. Didn't have to even be empty. He could have whatever in it. I just needed a jug, and I actually gave him 25k for it, just because it just felt right, you know? Like, for some random person to ask for a random item, if I did that for somebody, I mean, it's no skin off my back, but I just feel bad. I feel like a burden. So I'm like, if you're gonna sell this to me, I'll make it worth your while. So after buying the most expensive jug I've ever purchased, we find Brother Cedric again, and we give him a jug of water. He needs to deliver the wine still, but his cart is broken. So luckily there's some trees around. We chop up some logs, we give the logs to him, and now he'll repair the cart. I thought, maybe we would repair the cart and get some crafting XP, but whatever. We let Brother Omad know that Cedric is on his way back, and now the party can begin. And we get 8 law runes, which is actually a really nice reward. It's not a lot of law runes, but they're very valuable in this game. And then this is what I remember the most. When I was a kid playing, again, in 2008, where all the graphics were HD and new, when I did this quest, the old style dance emote was still in the game for when you beat this quest, and that's the only time I could ever see it. So I always thought that was really cool. But quest complete. 1 quest point and 8 law runes. Yippee. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I know it kind of felt rushed and overpacked with lots of content, but I wanted to get the last bits of my recordings done in this last episode because I really want to do live commentary. I only did 1 episode thus far where it was all live commentary and everything else has just been voiceover. I also haven't played on my account for the entirety of June and most of July. I mean, it's July 16th that I'm recording this, and next time you see me, I will be hunting for some rares over the weekend. Hopefully I get lucky and I end up with a rare, but that's 16 range, and I'll see you in the next one.